change I'm just hoping to seek in the world is equality and equity, because we're better in community, and anything against us is against all of us.
I'm working in user experience right now, and I realized when I entered an app competition that I could also use it as some queer advocacy work. So that's kind of where I started my idea for Q Guide. It's an educational resource about LGBTQ identities to provide lots of information to people that are kind of afraid to ask queer people or don't want to face the stigma of trying to research it themselves.
I remember I was like in my room. I had countless nights of just like laying in bed alone, crying, like wondering like what was wrong with me. And I think I remember like Googling, is being gay wrong, or like all of the things that I'd been told, and just trying to figure out more of like who I was and like what that meant for me. And then I wandered upon the Trevor Project, and I clicked it, and the page pulled up, and then I saw like, all these words that immediately made me feel like I wasn't alone anymore. So then I used like their chat feature. I think that really is like what really charted like the path that changed my life. Being someone who didn't even want to be alive anymore, and then now like doing things that I never would have dreamed of, whether that be interning on Capitol Hill and finding a way to have the voices of the LGBTQ plus community at the forefront. I just hope to make the world a better place, and anywhere that I can help out, I just try to run directly to that.
I have found that as a queer person, it can be really difficult to find representative books. But when we do have books in these libraries, our school libraries, even public libraries sometimes, they're targeted by groups in our communities who don't always value the diverse material that's in these books. So I began speaking at my school board meeting to fight for these diverse books and fight book banning. This work is very important to me because as a queer person, I struggled a lot with my identity, gender, because I didn't see that representation in the everyday world. My mentor, Holly, has always been very supportive since I first met her. We met at both of our first school board meeting in my county to fight for a book that our school board was trying to remove from the library shelves, and we both spoke at that meeting.
After I met Julia at that first school board meeting, I recognized how important it was to be a safe person for our young people in our community. As a mom of 2 girls, I really look to Julia and think about myself as a mother and just how important it is to show up and remind them they deserve to see themselves everywhere, including the books in their school libraries.
I am the Deputy Director for the Queer Trans Project, and our mission is to give out free gender-affirming items across the U.S. We've been able to properly give out $200,000 worth of gender-affirming items, all the way from Alaska down to Puerto Rico. We prioritize our BIPOC community when we do these gender-affirming items, so we make sure that we include skin tone ranges that aren't typically available. We make sure that we are giving them 30-minute early access. The why is simply just making sure that people like my partner are supported in seeing people and products that look like him.
I transitioned in between my sophomore and junior year. I was the first openly trans person to attend my school. I was also the first Black trans woman to graduate from my highest school with honors. Yay! Had to add that part in. I feel like it did kind of pave a way for someone else who did graduate a year after me. I feel like I made a small ripple in history. It might not be monumentous, but I think as long as it lives in my memory and it lives within the memory of others, I think it's very important. History doesn't always have to be a textbook.
I think pride in action to me means putting action behind our words, showing the entire world that we will always be unapologetically who we are.
It means being a role model to other people around my community and around the country, to be able to show them that you can start small, you can start anywhere. That one action can make ripples that you didn't even know were possible until you tried.
There's one review that I really love. It's this dad, and he says that his kid just came out to him and he didn't know what to do. And he saw an ad for my app and he said like, wow, this is a great resource. I'm so glad you have it and I can't wait for future developments. So even if it means I can change the world for just one person and make one kid's life better, it means the world to me.
It's important to just show up and be who you would want to have molded you, or the little good deeds that we do in the day, because they really do trickle down and affect people's life positively more than I think we'll ever know.